Hey guys, Marian here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special video for you guys. We are getting up close and personal with an actual Torah. The holiday of Simchat Torah is coming up in the Jewish calendar, and that's the chance where we finish reading the Torah for the year and start all over again. So I thought it'd be a really cool idea to actually show you guys what a Torah looks like up close, what the words look like, the paper, the print, everything about it. I have my little baby with me at the moment in the car. Don't worry, we're not driving right now. So we're going to go into the synagogue. The rabbi was kind enough to say he would open the ark and take out a Torah for us to see. So I'm so excited to show it to you guys. If you've never seen one before in person, let me know in the comments what you think, if it surprised you or looked different, etc. And yeah, if you're new here for the first time, welcome. My name is Marian. I make videos about being a mom and being a Jewish mom, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below to see more. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, and if you want to see more of me and my family, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Alright, let's go! Okay, so I'm here at the synagogue. I'm about to go inside. I wanted to just give you guys a little bit more explanation about what's going to happen in there. I don't want to take up too much of the rabbi's time because it is such a busy week in between all the high holidays. So I wanted to share with you guys now before I get in what my sort of plan is. And also, like I mentioned, I have my baby Corey with me. So you'll probably hear him in the synagogue as well. The synagogues are a very family-friendly place, and this rabbi has a baby as well, so I know he'll understand. So my plan is to show you guys what the Torah looks like. This is a very special time of the year. Like I mentioned, Simchat Torah is coming up, and that's when we finish reading the Torah and start all over again. So the Torah is going to be rolled towards the end of the Torah. So basically, I'm going to try and show you guys the very end of the Torah, the last chapter, so you can see what that looks like. I want to show you guys the binding of the Torah, the cloth or the parchment paper that's written on, the ink. I'll show you guys all the parts of the Torah, like the covering that it has on it, the yad, which is the pointer that's used to read the Torah, and yeah, and I'll ask the rabbi any questions that I have as he goes along. I know he'll share lots of wisdom about the Torah as he goes, so I'm just so excited to learn from him. And yes, a huge big thank you to Rabbi Berkowitz at B'nai Israel Synagogue. Alright, let's go see the Torah. So the first thing the rabbi did is open the Aron HaKodesh, the holy ark where the Torahs are kept, and he took out one of the Sefer Torahs for us to see. As you can see, they're all decked out in white for the high holidays. Underneath this cover is the Torah scroll. On it is written the 5 books of Moses of the Holy Torah. Most Torahs that you'll see are very old, passed down from generation to generation, although new ones are still being written. And the rabbi is going to show us how it looks when it's unrolled and talk about how the Torah is written and sewn together on the parchment.
Everything here is made out of animal hide, typically deer skin for a Sefer Torah, but any kosher animal technically is good enough to use. But this tends to be the easiest and the most resilient. And this is more hide that's been put on and just basically glued to hold them together. So they're sewn together, each of the separate.
And you're allowed to touch it, but not the words, or?
Right. Some people have the custom of not touching the Sefer Torah at all. This part especially you can touch. What's concerning about touching here is you don't want the oils from your skin to get onto the ink, because the way that the parchment and the ink work is that, unlike when you write on piece of paper, when you write on paper, the ink is absorbed by the paper,
right,
and it stays there. When you write with this ink on the parchment, on cloth, which is what this is called, the cloth does not absorb the ink. So you can actually, if you make a mistake while you're writing a Sefer Torah, you can take basically like a razor blade, and you just etch it off.
Wow.
It leaves a bit of a mark, but not so bad that you can't write right over it. So we have the Shema there, which is great. So here's the Shema, and you could tell with the Shema, most letters, the law about writing is, there's very specific laws about how do you write a Sefer Torah, how do you write a Torah scroll. Each of the letters have to be a certain size, and if you look very, very closely, it might be hard to see here, but the pages are actually scored. So that when the scribe is writing, when the sofer is writing, he stays within the lines, so that the letters are all the same size. There's a couple of exceptions, and Shema is one of them. The ayin at the end of the word Shema and the dalet at the end of the word echad need to be beyond the lines in both directions. They're like larger and bold. That's a tradition of writing it. And one of the explanations is that the letters Aleph and Dalet together spell the word aid, which means a witness. And so when you recite the Shema, you're basically testifying before God about your faith and your belief in the tradition. And that's what saying Shema, it's less a prayer and more of a declaration of what you believe. And each of these, you can see some of the letters here also have, these are called tagin, these like little crowns, these tick marks that come off of each of the letters. Every Sefer Torah is written exactly the same. So if you opened another Sefer Torah, technically they should all, if it's written correctly, the same letter in the same place should have the same kind of crowns on them. And they're very specific based on the word and based on the letter.
And this is the repetition, right? Because this is Deuteronomy?
Right, so the understanding of Deuteronomy is that this is sort of Moses' final speech to the Israelites. It's a rather long speech, but the speech he's giving at the end of his life, and much of what is in Deuteronomy can be found parallel in earlier parts of the Torah, other teachings. Some of it is new and unique, and some of it you can find parallels for in other places. You can also see here, actually, so the Shema is in this column, and if you go back to this column, is the Ten Commandments. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of slavery. And it continues on from there. Here's one of the major differences in the Ten Commandments as they're listed in the book of Exodus. It says, Zachor Yom HaShabbat, that you should remember the day of Shabbat. Here it's Shamor, that you should guard or protect the Shabbat day. A lot of interpretations of that. One of the ways of thinking about it is that's why you have two Shabbat candles, one for Shamor, one for Zachor. And then it continues all the way down through here.
So when we read the Torah, we roll the scroll from one side to the other, and the rabbi is actually going to roll it all the way to the end so you guys can see the final chapter that we read for Simchat Torah.
This is Parshat Ha'azinu, which is close to the very, very end of the book of Deuteronomy, almost at the end of the Torah. And there's a beautiful poem, a song that Moses recites to the people. And this is that song and that poem. And it's actually quite difficult to read because most columns, like here, you can read straight across. Here you read across, and you have to make sure when you skip the space, you stay on the same line. So that you do. And it's a beautiful poem that goes all the way down, right to left, all the way down this column, and then to the top of this column as well. And that is one of and then the last parsha of the Torah concludes right here, Zot HaBracha.
So this is the very last word?
End. You can see here where it's connected.
So I know the first word is Bereshit, and the last word is Yisrael.
And the idea, some of the commentary on that is the last word is Yisrael, so the Torah ends in the letter Lamed, and immediately after we go back to Bereshit, and beginning with the letter Bet, and Lamed and Bet together spell the word Lev, which means heart. So this idea that the Torah is like our heart, it's something that keeps us alive and sustains us. So as we finish, we also go back and begin again.
I have never heard that before.
Yeah.
I love that. Let me thank you, Rabbi Berkowitz, for showing us the Torah, especially in honor of Simchat Torah coming up. This has been so eye-opening and beautiful for me to see, even though I've seen the Torah so many times before, but I really haven't been up close to it too many times. So thank you so much.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share with everybody. I wish everybody a Chag Sameach.
Thank you. Bye, guys.